Now, this COP in particular has been a bit strange in the sense that there is a lot of buzzwords. First of all, we have a few buzzwords like net zero. We have few like green hydrogen, which has been like in like talks of almost every conversation. So, I mean, we have heard about green hydrogen, but why don't you give us a perspective of, like, a very, very short, brief perspective of what green hydrogen actually is and what is the discussion around it?
Right, right. No, I completely agree on that front. In fact, I'll actually give a listing of key buzzwords that are important at COP for anybody. Net zero is one, green hydrogen is one. Then apart from that, you're also looking at pathways and scenarios. Right, those are one thing that again important, and then coal decommissioning, fossil fuel finance. So I will first give a perspective on what is net zero, and then move into green hydrogen because it's a part in achieving net zero. So net zero basically means that at any point a country or a corporate limits their cumulative carbon emissions to zero, which means that either they stop creating carbon emissions by transferring or transmissioning to greener practices in terms of manufacturing, supply chain, production, the entire value chain, or they start offsetting those solutions by buying carbon credits from abroad or elsewhere, by where people are going to growing trees or using carbon sequestration technology, CCUS, which of course is very controversial and debatable, but governance is important on that. So net zero is that. Now different countries have pitched up different net zero pathways. China has said they will peak by 2060. The European Union is aiming for 2040 to 2050. US is saying that we will do by 2050. India has said by 2070. Now net zero means the time when in your cumulative emissions graph it hits zero, but it is important to also determine which is your peaking year, where your rise in carbon emissions will continue to reach a point at after which the trajectory will always be low. So I think that is where two parts, peaking year and net zero, are important for countries to look at and consider. So there are different perspectives to this, but this entire net zero can be nothing more than a gimmick if it is not followed by short term and serious commitments that can be tracked, both in terms of corporates and in terms of countries. If you do not create a common standardization of whether you are talking about just carbon emissions or methane emissions included, are you looking at aggregate solutions, or you're also looking at the value chains and different things, those have to be tracked more effectively. So I will just pause there on net zero because there's so much happening around it, but the key message is that net zero is not enough if it is not backed by real short-term and strong action, and more importantly monitoring and evaluation framework, so that you can actually stocktake what really is happening, which is why the UNFCCC and the United Nations Secretary General have proposed a new body that will actually now come up with standards and criterias of evaluating net zero pledges and making sure how do you hold accountability, how do you bring accountability and transparency in that net zero data. The second point, green hydrogen. Now there is a lot of discussion on green hydrogen, and it is, you don't know it unless you know it. So let's talk a little bit about it. Green hydrogen is considered to be the fuel of the future. Why? We are currently largely, the world has relied on fossil fuels and oil and gas to derive energy for local transportation, for heating energy needs, but also for high industrial use, for industrial manufacturing, which is high energy intensity. Now we are transitioning and we are looking at wind energy and solar energy primarily, including hydro, to move to more non-fossil fuel based mechanisms, options, but also that do not create carbon emissions. But the interesting thing is that industrial usage, even though you transform them into the green level, will still require high energy intensity, and we may not be able to give that with current level of solar that we have. Now green hydrogen is a fuel that is being developed. We have not reached there yet, but it is basically a form of energy that will solve that crisis for countries, and it will also link countries because nobody has reached there yet, so we can co-develop it together. So to distill it, there are two kinds of hydrogen, primarily blue hydrogen and green hydrogen. There's a machine called electrolyzers, which on which a research is being done. An electrolyzer is used to separate the H2O, the water molecule, into two different parts, hydrogen and oxygen. That hydrogen can be a source of energy to produce steel, to produce cement, to engineer high level industry processes. Now electrolyzers that use renewable energy, right, in form of electricity to separate water into H2O, H2 and O are green hydrogen, because it is using renewable energy derived from derived from solar panels and hydro. But electrolyzers that will rely on fossil fuel based electricity generated via coal to separate H2O will be creating blue hydrogen, which is not green in nature. So that is a huge fight as well between oil producing companies and other renewable players, that oil producing companies are saying that now we want to produce blue hydrogen. Green hydrogen can be done, but blue hydrogen is a need. So let us produce hydrogen. Yes, everybody wants to be part of that game, but let us produce it via coal. And the fight is to produce it via renewables and create green hydrogen, and then create it in a manner that countries in Africa, Asia and Latin America are not left behind from Scandinavia, Europe and North America in terms of developing and having access to this technology. So those are two key things, net zero and green hydrogen, that people are trying to distill but also play an important part in the debate, especially because of huge economic opportunities.
That's a brilliant explainer on green hydrogen. I think a lot of us were sort of looking at what green hydrogen actually is.